Okay, so you should have your lashes all drawn here, all the way around the eye and on the second eye. You can see an extra line here, this eyeliner line, and you can see it here in the instructions. You're not actually going to have that yet. That's going to come later right here, so don't worry about that right now. We're going to focus on coloring the eyelashes. So we're going to apply a radial gradient, black outside, dark blue in the center. So let's choose one of our eyelashes here. We'll start with the bottom one. We're going to take away the stroke on the outside. And we're going to do a gradient for the center, radial gradient, blue on the inside, black on the outside. And we can adjust that. How much blue to how much black. I think I'm going to make my blue a little bit lighter. And adjust it however you like. Shorten if you want more black out here. Adjust if you want more blue. Just play with it till you get it the way you like it. I think this looks good. I'm going to save it. So I'm going to move on to the next lash. Engage it. I'm going to take my eyedropper tool and say I want it to be the same as this one. And there we go. Next. Eyedropper tool. Select. And there we go. That made it really easy. I'm going to save. Looks good. If you're noticing that you have anything offline here, eyeliner will help with part of that. We're going to do that now. Because I turned the stroke off, it made this one disappear, so we can do the eyeliner here. But if you need to make adjustments, you can always come up and get your pen tool. These have all the points that you need. If you want to move it up here, click and drag. If you feel like you need an extra point, you know you can always add a point. I'm going to delete that one. It's being problematic. There we go. Just go all the way around. Click on your outlines. See where your points are. Move them where you want them to be. Add one if you think it needs it. We have our eyelashes just kind of fading right into the eye here. And the eyeliner is going to make the separation for us. For this one, I think I want it moved out a little bit. Moving over here, everything looks lined up pretty good. I'm going to save that. So I'm ready to do the eyeliner here. And I'm going to put it in a file right above the eyeball here. Grab your pen or your curvature tool. You've got a black stroke, no fill. Make sure that everything else is locked. And just outline that eye area. Again, don't worry if it's not exactly right while you're drawing it. You're going to come back and make it fit perfectly later. Double click for the sharp corner. You can see if there's any kind of misshapenness here, the eyeliner is going to cover it nicely. Double click. Come and check it, make sure that you really covered all of that eye area. It looks pretty good. Make any adjustments that you feel it needs. Just checking the lines here, and they look good. So under the liner, I'm going to make one more path for the closed eye here, so I'm just going to click on the end. Make sure it has a nice curve. Looks good. And I'm going to hit the escape key because I want to end this line. And there we go. And anytime I still have this on, it might try to pick up that line again. You can just hit the escape key to get out of it. Check your curve here. Make sure it's just the way you want it. There we go again. I'm going to hit escape. So I'm going to lock that for a second. Now I'm going to come here. I've got two lines here because I still have that closed eye from when we made the eyes. So I'm going to go to the eyes here. Here's that path of the closed eye. I don't need that anymore because the eyeliner is going to take care of it. So now I just have the eyeliner eye. Oh, I gotta unlock it. And then I can shut it off and I just have the one line for the eyeliner. So from there we're going to go to the brushes menu and we're going to double click on the tapered stroke to get the art brush options box and set it to 10%. So coming up here to the liner, I'm going to unlock, activate, go to window, brushes, and you can see if you hover it lets you know which brushes you're hovering over. We want the tapered. I'm going to double click on it to get the art box window, and whatever you're set at here you want to change it to 10% and hit OK. I'm going to do the same for this one. Let me get the selection tool so I'm not messing with that line. Double click on tapered, make sure it's 10%, hit OK. And with this one you can really see the difference that it made. Now I've got this nice tapered line. If it's not where you want it to be, remember you can take the selection tool here and you can move it around. You can move lines around, whatever you need to do to make it look right. If your eyeliner is standing out a little bit here, you can change that. You can change your eyeliner color if you want to, just by changing that stroke color. Oh, no fill. Do the same over here. Once you do that, if you want to make more adjustments to your lines here, you can do that to make everything line up. If you like having that little bit of space, you can do that. It's looking pretty good. Let's save. So we're ready for stage 5, the finishing touches. We're going to use the same kind of blending for the forehead as, or for the lips as we used for the forehead. So for the lips, we're going to go pink to red, linear gradient. We're going to do a pale blue and dark blue radial gradient on the hair, and a pale yellow to orange linear gradient on the ears. If you remember with the gradients, they give us the options right here. We've been using the radial gradient, which is the one that we're also going to use here for the pale to dark blue in the hair. But you see here they're mentioning pink to red linear and orange and yellow linear. So if you come up here, remember all you have to do is hover over your tools and you can see which one it is. And here's our linear gradient, and that's the one we're going to use for the lips. So let's go in, unlock, make it visible, drop it down, We can see several things in here. We can see the ears are in here. We can see the upper lip is in here. Right now I'm just going to work on the main lips right here, so I'm going to turn these off and focus on the lips. Activating the bottom lip first. Come over to our gradient. It's going to be a linear. And we want it pink and red, so I'm going to choose one point here, change the color. Let's make it pink. Here's a pink color. Over here we're going to make red. Let's go with a dark red. I think that pink is a little bit brighter than what I want, so remember I can come back up here and adjust it. Make it a little bit more pale, maybe a little bit more bright. So we got some nice contrast with that red. I think these are starting to blend better. That looks good to me. Now we've got all of our options here. If we go with our little square end here, you can see it's giving me the chance to rotate. There we go. And when I rotate it, it's going to snap it back to the lips where I'm working. I can move that whole bar up and down. I've got my adjustment here for saying how much of it I want to fill with the gradient. I think that looks pretty good. I don't want the stroke on the lips, so I'm going to turn that off before I move on to the next one. I have to take my selection tool, and then I can come over and turn off the stroke. Now that I have that the way I want it, all I have to do is select the upper lip, grab my eyedropper tool, and copy it. If I want to make any adjustments to these lips, I can go right back and edit my gradient. And I've got all these options here. I can change the colors, I can change the slider here, and I can also do it here. I can hover over here, wait for it to give me my option to rotate. Oh, I had it. Oh, I had it. There it is. So I can adjust it up, I can adjust it down, it'll snap in, I can move it. And you basically get it right where you want it, to where you think it looks good. Once you have the lips done, you're going to lock them off. And you're going to do the same now. The pale blue for the hair and the yellow to orange for the ears. Go ahead and start on that, and I'll meet you back here for the next step.